Morning, dear students. Today we'll discuss regarding the general characters of the pteridophytes. This class is mainly for the UG students, and I, Dr. Vedavati Chaudhary from Department of Botany, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. And today I am taking this class for the UG students mainly. So let us discuss what are the general characters of the pteridophytes. It is just to brush up your memories from the higher secondary what you have learned. Then in the other classes we will discuss the other characters of the pteridophytes. See, the life starts before starting. We have to discuss little bit regarding the evolution of the plants on the earth. The life starts in the water, as you all know. So when the life starts on the earth, so first of all the green plants, that is unicellular algae, came into existence. So when the evolution process from the unicellular algae, the life little bit it process towards the multicellular algae evolution process. Then from the algae or the water, gradually the life process from the water towards the terrestrial habitat. Then the bryophyta, or what you call the amphibia, came into existence. Yes, in the plants also amphibia is there, so which are we call as the bryophyta. So the bryophyta, it is showing little bit of the old characters of the algae and little bit of the modern characters. So in the bryophyta also the older groups, that is Hepaticopsida, it is showing some primitive characters, and much more advanced one is the Bryopsida groups. There you can much more advanced characters we can see, but still the main plant body in case of the bryophyta, it is a gametophytic plant body, and they are also known as the thallophytic plant, because in the main plant you cannot see so much of differentiation between the leaves or the roots or the stems like that, and they do not have a proper vascular system. So after that, when the life process further, then the pteridophyta came into existence. So in the pteridophyta group, you can see a proper vascular system is there. There, there are different types of the habitats. So you can see, and the pteridophyta, the group itself, it is not a very small group. Rather, it is a very big. Here you can see many primitive pteridophytes are also there, showing some primitive characters, and much more advanced pteridophytes are also there. So the primitive pteridophytes, if you see, so for example, many fossil pteridophytes are also there. Hernia is there, Rhina is there, Horneophyton is there. So there you cannot see any proper root system. There you can see roots are replaced by the rhizoids, and the leaves are not there. Apart, you can see the leaf appendages, but they are also discovered from the fossil records. But in them, the pteridophyta are also some advanced category are also there. For example, the ferns. So they are the proper root system. You can see at the different much more advanced stele also you can see. So the name pteridophyta itself, it is coming from a Greek word. Pteron means feather and phyta means plants. So the plants with a feather-like fronds are the ferns. So they include a group of very primitive land plants with very well developed vascular system, and they are referred to as the vascular cryptogams. And because they do not produce any flowers, they are flowerless plants, they are seedless plants, they are spore bearing vascular plants, and they are kept under the class Cryptogamia by Carolus Linnaeus, where the uh, Cryptogamia comes from the Greek words cryptos means hidden and gamos means weighted. That means the plants having the concealed flowers, or the plants are without any visible sex organs. So the main plant body, what you can see in case of the pteridophyta, the main plant body is a sporophytic plant body, whereas in the bryophyta, the main plant body that you can see, it is a gametophytic plant body, but here it is a sporophytic plant body. So most of the pteridophytes, these are the terrestrial, and they grow in the very moist, in the shady places. They also prefer shady climate because they need water for their reproduction, for the germination of the spores, for the movement of the gametes towards the male gametes towards the female gamete, gametophytic plant, they need the water. While some also found in the open or the dry places, especially in the xeric conditions, for example, some few members of the Scylla genera, the Lepidophylla, they prefer the xeric conditions, whereas some aquatic pterophytes also you can see. For example, Marsillia, Azolla, then some epiphytes are also there. A few of those, some pendulum. So uh, what we have seen, their habitat is different types. Terrestrial is also there, and then moist shady places, then desert conditions, then some are aquatic, then some are also epiphyte. Then you see what the main plant body. As I have already told you that the main plant body and main independent plant body is a sporophytic plant body. Sporophytic plant body means what? They are the spore producing, and it develops from a diploid zygote, and plants they differentiate it into root, stems, and the leaves. But yeah, since it is a very big group, the pterophyte is a very big group. Okay, and in this group you can see very fossil varieties are also there, much more advanced varieties are also there. So in the fossil types, if you see, for example, there's a Rhynia, then Horneophyte, and in these members you cannot see proper root. There it is replaced by the rhizoids. Then no leaves are also not present there in the Rhynia. Rather, you can see some leaf-like appendages are there. In Equisetium also, no leaf is there, but the leaf-like scaly leaves you can see in there. But the true well-developed leaf is you can see in case of ferns. Okay, but the members of the Lycopodium or the Saladinella, you can see the very small leaves. If you see Saladinella, again the stem, if you see two types of them in the same plant, two different types of the leaves you can see. Now the small leaves are known as the microphyllus, microphyllus. It means leaf, and the bigger leaves, these are known as the megaphytes or the megaphytes. So primary root, if they develop, is a short leaf and it is replaced by the adventitious roots. Then shows dorsiventral or the radial symmetry. Dorsiventral means what? Dorsal, ventral, both sides same. And the branching of the stems also, if you see, it is showing the dichotomous branching or the monocotyledon branching. So what is dichotomous branching? In the dichotomous branching, you can see from a single stem, the two different branches are coming out. A little bit in the layman's language, it looks like the English capital letter Y. So all the vegetative parts, they possess the vascular tissues. They are organized in definite groups and stils. What are stili? Stili is the inner core of the vascular stem. There, or the vascular cylinder is there in some members. There you can see the medullary rays or the peaks are also there. The stem bears the leaves, as I told, which are maybe small microphyllus types or maybe megaphyllus types. Then after the sporophytic or the gametophytic plant, how they reproduce. See, here I think you can see one picture. So it is the picture of the Swiss farm. Okay, under this group, Psilotopsida. So see in the main plant body there is no leaves you can see. Here it is a primitive one, no leaves you can see, but such small globular-like structures I think you can see. No, so these are actually sporangium. So sporangium are what? These are the structures which develop or release the spores. So different types of sporangium you can see in case of the pteridophytes. Some sporangium you can find that it developed directly on the stem. It is colloid in origin, where in some others it is developed on the either side of the leaves in the lower portions or the foliar also. For example, in the fern also, sporangium arrangement, it is different types depending on the different types of the species. Or it is found on the axils of the leaves or on the margins of the leaves. For example, in Adianta, the leaves that bear the sporangia that we known as the sporophys. Here you can see two different types of the sporangia. I think you can see the first one, it is the sporangium or the sporophys, which is widely scattered in the plant. It is ferns. It is the fern sporangia. It is known as the soras or plural sori. So it is the sporangia which is developing in the lower portions of this type of fern. And from in the second picture, you can see that a particular cone-like structure is there. So if it is developed, it is clustered in a definite area or the structures. These structures are known as the cones or the strobilus. In Lycopodium, in Selaginella, in Equisetium, you can see these types of the cones or the strobilus. So this cone, it is the cone of the equisetum. And so equisetum plant also, if you see, leaves you can find, but they produce two different types of the branches. One is the sterile branch, another one is the fertile branch. Sterile one, it is branch type, but whereas the fertile one, it is unbranched type. And at the tip portion of the fertile branch appears the sporangium or the strobili or the cone. In the on the cone, there is a central cylinder is there or the axis is there, and from there they bear this, if it is a lycopodium, they bear this microsporophylls or the megasporophylls filming sleep, and at the axial portions or the abaxial surface they bear the microsporangium or the megasporangium. Here also, from the central axis, it bears a small structures or the microsporophylls or the megasporophylls. But apart from that, in some aquatic members they develop the sporocarp. These these sporocarp are small nut-like structures. Nut-like structures. You can see there is a small structure in the from there. A stalk is also there. If you see the aquatic one, suppose Marcellia or the Salvinia. So here, suppose for example Marcellia in the lower surface of the leaves, or the lower portions of the leaves, so the axial portions of the leaf, it is the sporocarp. So the sporocarp, suppose a particular bean-like structures or the nut-like structures, it is held together. And when the sporocarp, since it is aquatic, so at that time of the germination of the sporocarp swells, and the inner content contains the microsporangium and the megasporangium. It then comes out after rupturing the sporocarp wall. And the development of the sporangia also two types. Either it is developing from a single cell, suppose eusporangia type, where it is mostly you can see in the primitive one, suppose Selaginella equisetium, or it may be a leptosporangic cell. It is a group of cells may become separate from the other cells, and they develop into a sporangia. For example, Marcel. And the sporophyte plant, maybe it is the homosporous or it may be the heterosporous. So it is the homosporous, then it is Lycopodium, then Bryopteris, it is the homosporous. Or it is heterosporous, for example, Selaginella, Isoetes, Marcellia, etc. These are the heterosporous. That means they produces two different types of the spores, and the mostly it is seen that the microspores they develop into the small in size. That's why it is known as the micro develops into the male gametophytic plant, and the bigger spores are known as the megaspores and develop into the female gametophytic plant. See now how the gametophytic plants they look like. See, the spores when germinate, if it is a homosporous, then it produces a monoecious gametophytic plant, and if it is a heterosporous, then it produces heteroecious gametophytic plant, and the spores on germination give rise to the haploid gametophyte. So that means all the sporophytic plant, what is the chromosome number? 2n. And what is the chromosome number of the gametophytic plant? It is haploid or n. So the spores, when during development, they go for the meiotic division. Meiotic division. Then they form the spores. So they give the haploid gametophytic plant. Somehow, suppose it is the fun gametophytic plant, little bit it have some heart-like shape, but it is not same for all. In other varieties, different shapes of the prothallus you can see. So the prothallus, here it is the monoecious, so it bears the both antheridia and the archegonium. Prothallus, it is a small structure, and it is an inconspicuous structure, and maybe exosporics or maybe endosporic. Suppose Marsillia, then Flagella, there you can see the endosporic type. Then the sex organs. The sexual reproduction in case of pteridophyte is oogemistic. And the gametophyte or the prothallus bears the sex organs, antheridium and the archegonium. So antheridium and archegonium, normally the gametophyte form from the homosporous, monoecious already told, and develop from the heterosporous. These are the heteroecious. So the gametophyte form the dioecious. So the antheridium and archegonium develop into separate male and female gametophyte. The antheridium may be embedded in the gametophyte, or they may project from it. So in the mostly in the eusporangiate one, you can see that it is little bit of embedded. That means in the primitive one, but in the most more advanced one, you will find that it is leptosporangiate type. That is the projected one. And if you see the main structure, you can see that it is little bit of club shaped, which is outwardly it is covered by it is globular in structure and consistent outer sterile wall. Inside this, it develops a large number of androcytes, which undergoes metamorphosis and forms a single motile antherozoid. Antherozoid bears, or the male sperm, it bears the flagella. So that will help it to move towards the archegonium. The After antheridium, let us discuss the archegonium structure. The archegonium structure, you can see here one picture is also there. Archegonium is little bit of it is the flask shaped structure, have a neck and a venter. So neck contains a neck is their venter is the neck contains the neck canal cell, and the venter contains the ventral canal cell and the egg. So in the neck canal cells, in the earlier when it is on the developing type, then the neck canal cells contains their cell wall, cell membrane, everything. But when the archegonium becomes matured, then in that case, the neck canals are disintegrate, forming a passage for the antherozoid to reach the egg. And on the maturity, the apical cells of the archegonium separate. Okay, so the outer neck, that is the archegonium, the outer cover cell of the neck, it remains intact. But when the antherozoids reach on the tip of the neck, then the wall bursts and the cells disintegrate. So to give the passage for the antherozoids or the sperms to reach to the egg. After that, fertilization takes place. In all cases, fertilization it is accomplished by the agency of water. So what is needed for dehiscence of antheridia? It is required for liberation of antherozoid, movement of antherozoid from antheridia to archegonia, and for maturation of the archegonia from the syngamy. The haploid antherozoid fuses with the haploid egg and forms a diploid egg, which is the first cell for the sporophytic generation. So Always remember the zygote is the first cell for the sporophytic generation. So after that, the embryo and what happened to the young sporophyte? The young sporophyte remains attached to the gametophyte by means of a foot, and it draws nourishment from the prothallus until it develops the own stem, root, and leaves. From the zygote, the plant which is coming out is known as the protonema. Okay, and it bears the rhizomes. The sporophyte, it is partly dependent on the gametophyte at the early stages of the development. So after that, when it develops, it becomes larger in size or grows, matures, and forms the adult, the sporophytic plant. A clear its life cycle you can see in this slide. See, it is the mature sporophytic plant which is 2s and chromosome number. So when the sporangium, it develops the spores. The sporangium in the spore mother cells undergoes meiosis and forms the haploid spores. And the spores, when fall on the ground after germination, forms the young gametophytic plant having n number of chromosomes. The young gametophytic plant may be monoecious, may be heteroecious, depending upon the what types of spores it is. If it is monosporic, or then it will produce the monoecious gametophytic plant. If it is heterosporic, then it will produce the dioecious gametophytic plant. So the male gametophytic plant develops the antheridium, and the female one develops the archegonium. So from these two, the sperms and the eggs come, and when they undergo fertilization, zygote develops, which is 2n chromosome. From the zygote after that, the new sporophyte coming out, and upon maturation, the proper sporophytic plant it is come into existence. So it is the general account of all the pteridophytes. Later in the other classes, this classification and the other characters that we will study.